Hi, and welcome back to Yoga with Tim. I'm Tim, and today's class we're going to start off with a non-traditional warm-up, and then we're going to work up to a pose called shoulder stand or Salamba Sarvangasana preparation. Let's get started. Begin on your hands and your knees. Place your hands underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. So I want us to start by warming up the shoulders, the hips, and then the spine. So stretch your right leg straight back behind you, but try not to let your hips twist. And then send your left arm out in front of you. Roll the outer arm down to the floor, free up the back of the neck. Now as you exhale, bring the elbow and the knee towards the midline and towards each other. And then as you inhale, stretch back out. Exhale, bring the elbow, knee in. Inhale, back out. Exhale, elbow, knee in. Inhale, reach it back out. Don't let your middle sink. Pull your middle up. Lower your hand and your knee. Change legs, stretch the left leg back, but make sure your right outer hip hugs in. Send your right arm forward at the same time. Exhale, elbow, knee in. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, elbow, knee. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, elbow, knee. Inhale, reach out. Lower your hand and your knee down. Curl your toes under, stretch back to dog. Walk your feet forward. Then with a little bend in your knees, take your feet outer hips distance apart. Now drop your buttocks down towards the floor, reach your heart forward, and then lift your buttocks towards the ceiling. Drop your buttocks towards the floor, reach your heart forward, lift the buttocks towards the ceiling. One more time, drop the buttocks, and lift it up. Then press down into your feet. Spread your arms, reach out, up and overhead. And again, with the bend in your knees, tip forward and fold forward. Press into your feet. Inhale, come out with the arms up and overhead. And exhale, fold forward. One more time, press down through your feet. Reach your heart forward first, then come all the way up. Make a big arc with your arms. Spread your arms out to the side. Now let's do a little exercise to help to warm up our hips and warm up the shoulders at the same time. So step your left foot back into a little lunge, drop the knee down towards the floor, navel in, take your left arm up. Feel your right outer hip contract, and make sure your right knee is pointing straight ahead, it's not twisted in. Push to your heel and come back up. Do the same thing on the other side. Lower slow, we'll hold this first one, navel in, grow from the outer side rib up through the pinky, and then stand up. And now let's do it with speed, just to warm up the body. So often we'll do sun salutations to warm up, but today we're doing this like active range of motion, little warm up to create a different sense of mobility. Ultimately, the warm up should leave you feeling like your body feels mobile and like you've built up a little bit of sweat and your heart is pumping. And that's all going to protect your muscles throughout the poses. So that instead of, really it'll help the muscles so that they can work better, so they can stretch and engage to protect your joints. One more round here. Good, now turn to the side and imagine that there was like a tripwire right here at about knee height. And you're going to step up and over, and then bring the other leg up and over. Go back to the other side, and we'll just keep going side to side here. Keep your chest open, your shoulders back. Imagine you're being pulled up through the crown of your head. And then pretend like you're going to step under the tripwire. Now it's like chest height. And go side to side. And then step your feet hip distance apart, big toes turned out just slightly. Bring your knuckles to your temples with your thumbs pointing down. Open up across your elbows and your chest, but open your lower back at the same time. Now, as you inhale, slowly sit back like you're sitting into a chair. Bring the elbows towards each other. And as you exhale, come back up. Inhale, lower slowly. Exhale, press up. 5 more. Pick up the pace a little. Then take your arms out to the side like cactus arms. Rotate your arms externally. Then raise the arms up and overhead. Bend the elbows. Rotate externally without pushing your middle out. Raise your arms up and overhead. Bend the elbows. Rotate externally. Raise the arms back up. Last one. Bend. Rotate externally. Now with the feet hip distance apart, reach up and over with the right arm like you're stretching for something up onto the top shelf on the across from you, and then change sides. And go side to side. This is like, I got inspired by watching 80s aerobics workout video. No, I was just thinking like, these are like never like warm-up movements we do in yoga. All we do is like very like linear sun salutation. So it's good just to get different types of movement to warm up. Now we're gonna make circles with the arms. At one point, I was so bored with the sun salutation that I was dancing to warm up. And if you've ever seen me dance, this is just embarrassing. So we will not include that video series, but we'll have to change sides. All right, then step up to the top of your mat. That's about as much out of the box as I could get. Take your feet just hip socket distance apart, open up the soles of your feet and stand tall. So feel 2 things. Feel all the heat and energy moving through your body. And then notice how much better you can inhabit the body once you feel that. So feel you can really sharply bring your awareness into the body as you can feel it better. Then spread your arms out to the side. Rotate your arms externally so the palms face up, and then stretch your arms as far away from the midline as possible. As you grow taller through your spine, raise your arms up 6 inches. Spread, grow tall up through the spine. Come up 6 more inches. Feel the inner arms plugging into the socket, but the arm muscles growing long. Raise the arms all the way up. And then spread your arms and fold forward. Inhale into a flat back. Plant your hands, step back, plank pose. Oh, I forgot, let's do this part. Very last part of the non-traditional warm-up. Press down into your hands. Wake up the inner arm, lift up through the inner arm as you push into the inner hand. Open your collarbones, but pull your belly up. Now without your belly sinking, bring your right knee to your right elbow. Change sides. And keep going side to side now. And we'll gradually start to pick up the pace, making sure we don't lose the alignment, keeping the belly drawing up and not letting the hips wiggle side to side when you change legs. The shoulders shouldn't be swinging side to side, so you're engaging your back muscles. And now even faster, faster. I feel like the scene in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory where they're on the boat and he's saying faster and faster. Do you know what I'm talking about? Did you ever see that movie? And now just to your chest instead of to the elbow. And then across to the opposite elbow. And then even faster, faster. And then set your knees down and stretch back. I think now we're in the land of the Oompa Loompas. And then come back up onto your hands and your knees. Try this sucker. See if you can turn your hands around so that your thumbs point out to the side and your fingers point back. And then round your back and look back at your navel. Inhale, arch your back. Exhale to round. Inhale to arch. One more time. And then come into neutral. Plant your hands. Stretch back into downward facing dog. Walk your feet forward to the front of your mat. Inhale into a flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, Samastiti. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Plant hands, step back into plank pose. Raise your right leg 1 inch without your hips twisting. Belly up, heart open. Change legs, feel your core engage. Set that foot down and lie on your belly. Stretch your arms forward, press the pinky finger side of the hand down, tops of the feet down, engage the legs, arms, raise your right arm and left leg. Change. Press the tops of the feet down, bend elbows back into cactus position and hold, rotate externally. Now stretch your spine longer, reach to the back of your skull, to the tops of the buttocks. Then place your hands next to your chest, roll your heart forward. And stretch back into downward dog. Walk your feet forward to the front of your mat. Inhale into a flat back. Just scoot this mat just a little over. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale the arms to your side. Inhale your arms up. Hope you can still see my head. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, flat back. Step back into plank pose, 1 leg at a time. Engage your core, raise your left leg. Change, raise your leg. Set that foot down and then come right into up dog. Stretch back into down dog. Stretch your right leg up from the inner thigh. Exhale the knee to the chest, shift into plank and pull up. Step your foot up by your thumb and drop your back knee. Inhale the arms up. Exhale into cactus position. Inhale your arms back up. Bring your hands down, curl your back toes, lift your back knee. Plant your left hand flat and twist. Press into the left inner hand, lift up on the front of the shoulder. Turn onto the outside of your back foot, keep your heart lifted, and then hold here or step your right leg back to stack up on top of your left for side plank. You can challenge your upper body strength a little more if you step the leg back. Bring your hand back down, step into plank pose. Hold there, strong in your core, lengthen in your spine. Take a vinyasa or stretch right back into down dog. Raise your left leg up from the inner thigh. Exhale the knee to your chest, pull up. Step your foot up by your thumb. Drop your back knee down. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, bend the elbows out to the side, open your heart. Inhale the arms back up. Bring your hands down. Curl your back toes, lift your back knee. Plant your hand flat and twist. Then lift up on the front of the right shoulder, turn onto the outside edge of your back foot, hold here, or step your left leg back to stack up on top of your right. So you're supporting your whole upper body with your arm. If you feel like it's too much on your shoulder, you just drop a knee down instead. Otherwise, hold here like this, 5 breaths. Slowly come back into plank pose. Hold in your plank, strong in your core. And then stretch back into downward dog or take a vinyasa. Look in between your hands. Step or float up to the front of your mat. Inhale into a flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale into chair pose, bend your knees and sit your hips back. Raise your arms up. Stand and release your arms at your side. Inhale into chair pose. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step back into plank. Hold in your plank. Raise your right leg an inch. Change, raise the left. Lower onto your belly. Inhale into cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward dog. Step your right foot up by your right thumb. Set up your back heel for warrior one, but don't go up. Come up on your fingertips. Stretch your butt straight back, hips straight back, heart forward. Then lift up through your belly, come right up through the midline. And then open up to your side for warrior two. These pants are kind of tight. Stretch down into your back heel, pull up tall through your crown. Then reach out over your right leg, bring your forearm to your thigh, take your left arm over your ear. So remember we're doing those shelf reaches at the beginning where you're trying to arch over. Instead of arching over, you're actually trying to make both side ribs equally long in extended side angle pose. Inhale, come back up. Flip your palm up and reach to the ceiling. Bring your hands to the mat. Step back into plank. Take a vinyasa or stretch right back into down dog. Step your left foot up by your left thumb. Set up your back heel up on your fingertips, hips straight back, heart forward, lift your belly and come up. Then open up to your side, warrior two. Reach straight down through your right heel, pull up through your crown, and make sure your left thigh is turned all the way out, knees tracking with the second, third toe. Then reach and bring your forearm to your thigh, take your right arm over, and instead of the reach over stretch, grow both side ribs equally long. Press down through your feet, come back into warrior two. Flip your palm up and reach to the ceiling. Come back to warrior two and straighten your left leg. Turn your toes into your feet are parallel. Turn your legs to the right for triangle pose and reach out over your straight right leg. Take your left arm up. Then bend your right knee, put your hand and foot in front of your pinky toe and step into half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Hold here, or see if you could bend your back knee and reach back with your hand to grab a hold of your foot. Open back up, bend your right knee and slide back into warrior two. Then place your right hand onto the inside of your foot, blocker floor. Wrap your left arm behind your back and roll your shoulder, chest open. Hold there, or see if you can slide your right hand underneath your leg to get a full bind. But look what happens when I get the full bind, because I'm kind of stiff in the shoulder, it pulls me way forward and down. It would be better if I just do the half bind and stay pulled up to the line of the back ankle instead. Then I'm strengthening good posture, and I can just stretch the shoulders in some other poses instead. Come back up. Turn the legs, And as you raise your left arm up, reach and stretch out for triangle. Then bend your knee, slide your hand and step up. And hold here, or see if you could bend your right knee and reach back, take a hold of your foot. Open back up, slide back, warrior two. Then place your hand onto the inside of your foot, right arm up. Wrap your arm behind your back, half bind. Hold there, or see if you can do the full bind without doing the full round over like I have to do. Open your arms back up, come back up, parallel your feet, and then either clasp your hands or use a strap, hence the tight shoulders, and I can't do the full wrap, use a strap, and fold forward in between your legs. Then set your fingertips down, and as you inhale, come up into a flat back. Exhale, bend your right knee, walk your hands over to the right, stretch your heart forward. Change sides over to the left. Come back to center with both legs straight, then walk your hands over towards your right ankle. Over to the left ankle. Back to center. Walk your hands around to the front of your mat and step back into down dog. Then come to a seated position. Sit with your legs stretched out in front of you. Raise your arms up to the ceiling. Grow tall over the sit bones, reach straight down through the sit bones, straight up through the crown. Then take your arms forward, slide back, bring your heels towards you, scoop your abs in. Then lift your feet up. Tap your heels down, roll down onto your lower back, inhale your arms up. Exhale, curl back up to your knees. Sink your low abs in. Hold that and stretch your right leg out. Change legs, left leg out. Keep those abs tucked in. Bring both legs into tabletop position. And then slowly lower your right knee away from you, keeping the abdominals in. Change legs. Change legs. Change legs. Then take your right leg straight up, left leg out. Reach up and over to that ankle. Change legs. Sink those abs in still. Change legs. And change legs. Hug your knees in. Roll back up to seated. And stretch back into down dog. Look in between your hands. Step, walk, or float up to the front of your mat. Inhale into a flat back. Exhale, fold. Chair pose, sit your hips back, scoop your navel up, arms up. Stand and release your arms to your side. Parivrtta Trikonasana, stepping from the front of the mat. Step your right foot back about 3.5, maybe 4 feet if you have longer legs. Pick up your back foot, turn it in 65 to 85 degrees. Raise your left arm up, inhale. And reach, twist, put your hand onto your shin, ankle, or block. Spin your left side lower belly up towards your right shoulder and raise your right arm. Reach down through your feet, come up and around to the other side, and stretch out over your left leg. Reach down through your feet, come up and around, spin your back heel up, then hook your left elbow to your right knee, join your palms. Press down through your feet, come up and around for the other side. Bend your knee, hook your elbow. Press down through your feet, come back up, and fold forward in the middle. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, walk the hands back, soften your navel to your spine, let your head drop. Inhale into a flat back. Bring your hands to your hips, press into your feet, and come all the way up to stand. Bring your legs together, then lower your knees down onto the mat. Stand up on your knees. With your left hip right over your left knee, open up your right leg out to the side, and then stretch the leg all the way out. Gate latch pose. Spread your arms out to the side. Rotate the arms externally, make the biggest spread as you can. As you pull up through your crown. Now keep your left hip balanced over your knee as you start to reach out and over to the side. So the preliminary pose right here, just working on opening up through the side ribs. You can mentally direct your breath into the left side body where it feels tight. And you can hold here, or if you don't feel much of a barrier in this variation, you can start to slide your right hand towards your foot. Go to where you feel the barrier and breathe. Don't try to jam past and make your body look like mine or a pose that you see in a book. Come back up and change sides. So yoga is all about paying more attention to what's happening in your body. It's not trying to jam your body into some shape, make yourself look like some way. It's just about creating that deeper mental awareness and then keeping the body healthy. Turn your palms up. We always run into trouble when we try to jam past that, let the ego get involved. So be in your body as we reach over, hip balanced over, start to stretch over. Hold here in phase one of the pose. Feel this nice stretch through your side ribs. And then see if you can start to slide a little deeper. And then come back up. Good, then stand on your knees. And if you have a block, place one in between your thighs, way up high by your groins. Squeeze in with your thighs. Place your hands onto your outer hips and then start to arch in your upper back like you're going to try to lift your heart up to the ceiling. Now just make sure that as you gently hug in, you're feeling right here the front hip bones drawing in towards the navel and then draw the navel up towards your heart. And slowly come back up. Then from here, let's practice stretching in the preparation pose, modified Supta Virasana. So as you go to sit back in between your heels on a block or not, Let your thighs descend, let your chest open, and then see if you could walk your hands back a foot behind you. I lift the buttocks and tuck the buttocks under a little, and then roll your heart open, roll your shoulder heads back. And then see if you can start to lift your hips up. Now feel that, imagine you're still hugging the block in between your thighs, the front hip bone action, and then firm the buttocks towards the backs of the knees as you roll your heart open. Lower your buns back down, and then stand up on your shins. So I'm not a very deep backbender because I have a lot of compression in my lower back from some surfing stuff, and then like still trying to backbend on that, even when my body was saying like no, because I was letting my ego get involved. I was like, I should be able to do this. So let that be a lesson to you. Learn from your stupid teacher who would just push it anyway. So I don't want you to push this next pose, but if you can feel you have the mobility in your spine and you don't feel any parts are crushing on top of the other, then you might want to put your hands on the blocks or even on your heels. Come back up, sit back on your heels, then interlock your fingers in front of you. Oh, you could do a block if it's too much to sit on the heels. Interlock your fingers in front of you, turn your palms inside out, and raise your arms up. Change the interlock, stretch your arms up. Bring your arms back down. Now let's try this. Curl your toes under as best you can. And then if it's difficult to sit on your heels, you can put a block in between your heels and your buttock. Then put your right hand on your lower back, left hand behind your head, stretch the elbows away from each other and back. Head right up on top of your spine. Now, if you're not feeling much stretch in your chest or your shoulders to do this, try sliding your hands closer towards each other. But as you saw earlier, with my tight shoulders, I can just stay in this one. I get a deep enough stretch. And change sides. Put your left hand on your lower back, right hand behind your head. Again, this is just to distract you from the suffering that's occurring for your feet. And release. Then come off of the feet, point the toes back one last time, and swivel your feet over to the left. Sit onto the right hip. Sit up as tall as you can. If you're leaned way over, you could put a block underneath your butt and then twist to your right. This pose is called Bharavadrasana twist, named after the sage Bharavadra. Come back to center, and then take your feet over to the right as you sit over onto your left buttock, but work on sitting up as tall as you can as you twist. And remember, in our twist, we want to twist upward, like you're being pulled up, or like a bottle cap unscrewing. Come back to center and cross your legs in front of you. Fold forward. Come back up, change the cross. Inhale back up, stretch your legs out, place a block right underneath your knees, and then soften your navel towards the front of your spine as you start to fold forward out over your legs. Then lie down onto your back, and let's learn the foundation for shoulder stand. Take your arms to your side like robot arms. Press your shoulder heads, the back of the shoulder, down towards the floor without pushing your middle up. So just feel what it's like for those upper arms to activate. Pretend like you had a band, like you know when you do that exercise at the gym where you're pulling the cable, pretend like you're pulling a band. So feel those back muscles engage, and then as you press into your feet, engage the hamstrings, lift your hips up. Stretch your hips out of your lower back, and then you should feel in this position that you have a curve in your neck. That's good. You want to be able to maintain that curve as we practice the foundation for shoulder stand. So lower your buttock back down, and I'll show you this one spot in particular. So this bone right here, this is called the C7 vertebra. We want to make sure that this doesn't dig into the floor when you go to shoulder stand. I think I'm supposed to be looking at this one. So when that bone starts to dig into the floor, that's when you end up with the issues of the neck that you've heard about, why shoulder stand can be so bad for you in yoga, which it's a serious thing. You can really mess up your neck. That's why I don't ever teach this pose really on the channel. So I want to make sure that you have that action. And we're going to try just half shoulder stand. And then in the how-to video this week, I'm going to show you at the wall with blankets, which is the safer way. So for now, so you can learn the half variation, come back to that position, feel what it's like to activate, to have the space for your neck. And then put your hands next to your hips. With your knees bent, we're going to try to lift the hips up and over. So you press the arms down and go up. And you just bring your hands to your buttocks. Now, can you activate those same shoulder muscles again so you feel you have the neck curve? And then we'll just kind of hang here with the legs, gradually lifting up, but we'll just stay in this pike position instead of going to a true shoulder stand. Then rebend, put the hands down, and roll yourself out. So if you don't have the spinal mobility yet for that one, it was really difficult to get your hips up, then I want you to just practice Paschimottanasana. That's the pose you need to work on for a while, and Happy Baby. Then you'll start to get the hip mobility, the spine mobility. Let's go into final spinal twist, but let's switch it up this week. So take your left leg straight out, hug your right knee in. Somebody commented last week, you always do the same poses. So I like those ones, they're good. Okay, so we'll try a little bit different today. This is a variation of Marichiasana, supine twist. So take the knee all the way over to the side. And then I like to rest my leg on a block in this one because the tight shoulder situation, I don't have enough fabric in the chest shoulder to take the leg all the way over without my shoulder popping up off the floor. But if you have more mobility, that's cool. Try taking your leg further. Most bodies anatomically won't allow more than a medium block. So I'd recommend at least the medium block. Or about a foam roller is good too. Oh, this one's pretty good too. We should start doing this one more. What do you think? You like this one? Come back to center. Oh, I feel pretty nice. Change legs, hug the left knee in. And then take the leg all the way over to the right. in case you were wondering, this is what heaven feels like. When you finally transcend, become enlightened, you just feel this way all the time. Okay, slowly release. And stretch out for Shavasana. Let your body relax. Feel how open the body feels. Feel the enhanced flow of energy. You could feel the vibrational quality in the body. Just practice watching the rising of the breath, the falling of the breath. The expansion, the letting go. And then gently bend your knees. Roll to your right side. And press yourself up to seated. All right, so thanks so much for watching today. If you enjoyed today's video, hit the like button, leave a comment below, and let me know if you enjoyed some of the different poses today. We had gate latch, worked on some different twists. If there's any new poses in particular that you'd like to learn, drop them below. I'd love to hear from you. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Not only is it the best way to stay caught up, you won't miss any videos if you turn on the notification bell as well, but it's also the best way to support the channel if that's something you're into. Okay, have a great week. I'll see you next time.